Alright fellas, here we're back in Pokemon Masters, and today we're going to be taking a look at Special Costume Irida and Hisuian Zoroark here today at 1 out of 5 6-star EX. This character is very fun and very strong. Very fun, very strong. That's all we can say, really. She's just so stupidly strong. Looking at her stats, she's got 376 speed, 503 special attack, about 200 in the defenses, 750 health pretty much. Not bad across the board. Special attack's really good. She's got her main form of damage in Bitter Malice, 170 power, 4-gauge move that lowers enemies' attack by 1 rank. Very, very useful in, for 1, helping out your supports and other allies and taking less damage, and for 2, doing good ghost damage because Ghost really needs the fucking help. She's got her trainer move, Battle from the Heart, which raises her special attack and evasion by 4 and applies free moves next to her. Very, very helpful for her 4-gauge move, and of course being self-sufficient. And then Dire Hit All Plus for crit support, which is also really good, and of course more self-sufficiency. And then her buddy move, Mystifying Bitter Malice, which activates whenever allies use a move a total of 3 times, and deactivation condition is when the move is used. It's easy to activate. It's just essentially a turn in battle, right? Because you queue up moves with all 3 moves with your trainers, and then boom, you have your Mystifying Bitter Malice activated. Very good. The move's power is doubled against targets that are affected by a status condition, flinch, confusion, or trap, and it lowers the target's attack by 4 and makes the target flinch. That flinch is clutch. Why is it clutch, and why is it great? Well, Irida already wants to run, especially in Stadium, right? Let's think about Stadium. You already want to run the interference parameter off, right? You want to be able to use interference abilities because you want to have the enemy trapped. You'll want to have the enemy trapped so then your Mystifying Bitter Malice will do double damage, and then you get a free flinch out of it, which is extremely helpful for sure. She's also got attack trap. Yeah, as we said, she's got attack trap 9. She's got herself hit free moves next, special boost up 1, which gives her free moves next or special moves next by 1 rank whenever her attack move is successful. Good for gauge efficiency, and then good for damage as well. Very helpful. And then blind spot, which is a 100%, up to 100% sync move multiplier the more her evasion is raised. She does need an ally to help max her evasion, but that's not really too big of an issue. It's not too bad. So you can deal with it. She also has her Lucky Skill, which I've not opted to showcase here because my setups have been mostly just utilizing other characters or supports because I think it's just far better for Irida as a 1 out of 5 character, but you can run Trap and Sync 4. Trap and Sync 4 is definitely a good multiplier for her Lucky Skill, 40% DPS, or not DPS, 40% Sync Nuke multiplier, which on top of the Blind Spot, that's 140% as a 1 out of 5 striker, which is pretty solid. So if you want to run that, you can. I haven't run it for this 1 out of 5 showcase. You can definitely do it if you want to do like a on-type battle or, you know, whatever battle you may want to do, but I personally just have not opted to. Anyway, whatever. That's all I got to say. Her grid also doesn't really have anything. Let's go ahead, hop into the battles, and see what Irida's capable of doing. As I said, she's really strong. Trust me. So the first battle here, I figured, you know, people want to see her run with Renegade Cynthia. You know, you got Sinnoh, you got Ghost Zone, whatever. You want to run them together, have a blast. This is what you're kind of dealing with. I would say Irida is not the problem really in this situation, but the thing with running these characters in Stadium is that Renegade Cynthia wants a lot. She wants Ghost Zone up, she wants debuffs, she has her physical and special moves, right? So you have to deal with that, which is annoying. Irida wants interference, right, for the trap and the flinch. And then, of course, you're running attack and a strike, so you can't select any of those parameters. And then probably running a support, right? That stuff. Kind of annoying. Either way, you can definitely run get around with it if you want to. So I've opted to run Brendan. He can help debuff special defense, and also do note gauge on this team is slow. But again, that's why we've opted to run Brendan. And of course, Irida is really, really solid here for being able to do free moves next with her trainer move, and of course her passive skill, which is helpful. So we go ahead and go for Brendan's sync move here for the support EX. We've also got plus 1 special moves next from Brendan here from the sync move, and then we got the Ghost Zone. Bitter Malice is 8,000 damage. It's pretty strong, right? Not too bad on a -1 special defense enemy. It's also quite good. We go ahead and go for Ghost Zone with Cynthia here. And go for the Mystifying Bitter Malice, 9,000 damage with the double damage on trap, and it does flinch, which is also really, really good there. There was no special defense debuffs on them, right? So that's still not too bad, though. 4,000 damage there on that Jinx there. So now we've got +1 special moves next. How many special defense debuffs? No special defense debuffs, and then 12,000 damage. That's pretty good. +1 special moves next does quite a lot, so to speak, right? It's not too bad, not too bad. Now we go ahead and go for Irida's sync move here because again we do have that one not 100%, whatever 100% divided by 4. I don't feel like doing that. Whatever it may be. I forget what the exact percentage is because of only having +4 evasion instead of +6. But either way, about what 9,000 damage on the sync move. That's pretty solid. That's pretty decent for a striker off type 3,000 point stadium, right? Not too bad. Either way, that was the setup for the most part. You do have to consider you have to use the trap with Irida, right? Her damage does not get directly boosted by trap, but her buddy move is boosted by trap. So you don't want to have to worry about having the enemy trapped for her damage. You just want to have to worry about the enemy being trapped for her buddy move, which is a lot easier to manage, right? Though whenever she gets to 3 out of 5, that does become more of a problem because you do want stationary target, which is a 30% multiplier whenever enemies are trapped. So that's a little bit of a problem, but either way, it's not too bad for sure. So you can handle that, you can deal with it, it's not too bad. And there was Irida off type on a very straightforward setup, just support, Ghost Zone booster, and then Irida's damage, which was, again, quite strong, right? Definitely quite strong for a for a 1 out of 5 striker, right? Definitely nice. And of course, again, our best ghost striker, bar none. So here's where I feel more comfortable running Irida. I like running her with a support and another striker. In this setup, it's going to be Eugene and Signasu Chris. So best thing with Eugene is that he's also able to apply trap and he benefits off of trap. He's got the same, effectively same multipliers as Irida. I think he's got stationary target. He's also got trap, sync, trap and sync 4. So again, same multipliers as Irida, effectively. So they work together in that aspect. Obviously, you know, you don't get the Ghost Zone or anything like with Renegade Cynthia or the special defense debuffs from Brendan, but that's fine, it's not really a big issue. But in conjunction, you now get, for one, an alternate striker, a very strong alternate striker, right? AoE damage, good nuker, whatever. And you get special moves next from Chris here, which is quite good, for sure. So, go ahead, go for all these moves here. I think we have trap on everyone but the middle. I forget who I target here. Oh well, it's fine. Whatever. We go ahead and go for the Chris's sync move here, get the support X in. All good stuff, of course, and try to set up rain again, because we do need to. Go ahead, go for the surf there. I think we end up going for the mist, yeah, we go for the bitter mouse on the side there. 10,000 damage, it's pretty strong. That is definitely pretty strong. I love that. Anyway, now, and again, Eugene is just a great alternative striker for this battle as well. Very, very helpful. So we go ahead and go for the Bitter Malice, 4,000 damage, not too shabby there. And then we go ahead and go for the Bitter Malice, which has +1 special moves next from the trainer move with Chris. So +1 special moves next, no Ghost Zone, no special defensive debuffs. What are we working with? How much is this? 12,000 damage. That's pretty good, man. Again, 1 out of 5 striker here, 1 out of 5. No zone, no rebuff. No special defense debuffs, just pure damage. +1 special moves next, but that's also realistic for her to get herself because she has her passive, right? We just happen to roll the free moves next instead, which in its own right is helpful. So keep that in mind. But yeah, either way, there we go. There was the setup with Eugene and Signasu Chris. Just again, I do like running that, you know, good support character, you know, maybe Proton for special moves next, Penny, Iono, Chase, you know, any character that can debuff special defense or buff special moves next and just directly power up Irida. Very, very good as a support. And then run another striker that can benefit off of those abilities. In this case, Eugene, he can work very, very well with the trap damage, of course, being able to set trap himself and get the benefit of Irida setting trap too. So they're both very, very useful in that front. They synergize in that aspect, and again, you can work pretty much around other characters that want to work with trap or interference as well. Very, very helpful. So yeah, there's the setup of Signasu Chris, Eugene, and special costume Irida. Let's go ahead, hop into the next stadium battle, which is also our last stadium battle because I do have a legendary arena. Alright, I figure in this setup, I didn't know what I was doing. Well, I did know what I was doing, but I also didn't know what I was doing. I wanted to do double Irida, which double Irida is actually very viable for sure, especially if you do have dupes in either of these Iridas, because we do have Irida and Glaceon with their ability to do, for one, Ice Zone, Ice Damage, whatever, and getting the buff. I'm pretty sure Irida does support allies who, whenever she's in Ice Zone, or Hail, one of the two, doesn't matter. Either way, they're both pretty much synonymous at this point, because she sets them both. And then she's got the -4 special defense on her nuclear strong buddy move. So you got yourself effectively 3 strong buddy moves in this setup, with 1 from Irida and Glaceon, and then 2 from Irida and Zoroark. Of course, I've only got 1 because I did half MP, but that's, you know, the point. That's fine. Not really an issue. Either way, I used Calum here because I wanted to power up Irida's nuke. Special costume Irida's nuke because he can buff evasion as well as maximize special attack, which that is one thing you have to deal with Irida here, is that you have to deal with that's redundant, but you do have to buff her special attack because she can only do +4, which that's fine, that's not bad, but evasion is more so the big thing, because she does get a pretty big jump in multiplier boosts from having +4 evasion to +6 evasion, so being able to bring a support or any ally that can reliably buff her evasion without hindering the team is definitely not a bad thing for sure. And again, damage here is good. Now we're also going to go ahead and go for the damage with Calum here. The bad thing about this is I did not have Trap on the Hippowdon, so that's a misplay on my part, and that's, whatever. That's how it is. But it's also fine because 11,000 damage is still good with the +3 special moves next, and then we also get to go for the Dancing Ice Beam on the side there and do, again, a nuclear setup for sure, which is great. There we go, 22,000 damage, which is pretty good. Pretty good. I wanted to do 1 out of 5 Irida here, but the thing with the setup is that you really want the extension, and yeah, just the extension on Ice Zone, and of course Arctic Arrival is also really helpful for getting rid of the sand, so had to deal with that, but that's not really a big issue. Could have been better, could have been worse. And also Calum wanting to using his buddy move, you obviously set Rain, which again also kind of overlaps with Irida's Hail there, but you can work around it. It's not the worst thing in the world. But either way, yeah, there we go. So double Irida definitely works out pretty well. Again, bringing Calum's not really necessary here because he was there to buff evasion. You can literally replace him with anyone else because I didn't end up using Irida's sync move. If I would have gotten the ability to, like if I would have gotten down to the sync move, then I would have used her sync move. But either way, I did not get to, so... That ship has sailed. Either way, doesn't really matter too much. Just bring a support that can really debuff special defense or buff special moves next, and probably maximize Irida's special attack, and you're cooking, right? Or Trap, right? Trap would have been helpful there too. So not like the most effective of setups and showcases, but if you were to work around it a little bit better, you could have gotten a far better look at special custom Irida there. And either way, I'd say it looks pretty good. So yeah, there's the final stadium battle. Let's move on to the legendary arena versus Yuxi, because I just want to showcase the super effective damage because I know there's people who want that. So may as well do it. And here we are versus Yuxi with Janine and Renegade Cynthia. Again, I know there are people that want to see the super effective damage with Irida, so we get the Ghost Zone, we got our Evasion Maxer. What more do we need? And of course, we can also poison the enemy with Janine to get rid of Yuxi's damage reduction passes, which is not bad, that's fine. So, either way, whatever. We set up all of our stuff here, get our ability set up and whatnot, and we try and go for the poison. It's a little bit annoying, but it's fine. We end up getting the poison there on that second Poison Fang. And Renegade Cynthia, of course, being able to debuff special defense is very, very helpful with her honor roll Shadow Ball, and of course her Sundering ability, very, very helpful. First bit of damage, 6,000 damage on Bitter Malice with no support EX or anything is pretty good, and no Ghost Zone, so that's not too bad. Could be better, could be worse. So let's see, we'll go ahead and go for the Sync move as well. Again, we have +5 evasion here. Didn't pick up Trap and Sync again. This is just Critical Strike 2 because maximizing her DPS is probably better. 13,000 damage there, also not too shabby. And we do have Irida, or not Irida, we have Yuxi trapped here, so it will be taking some recoil damage. 2,000 damage, by the way, even despite the healthy advantage, it's pretty decent. I mean, pretty decent, I would say. Either way, whatever. Now we're going to be able to KO Yuxi here and go for the Bitter Malice in order to get the enemy trapped. We've got Ghost Zone up now, so now we're maximizing what Irida here can do. We've got ourselves Ghost Zone, we've got +6 evasion, using the Bitter Malice, 12,000 damage when they have the status change, and now we've got the Mystifying Bitter Malice. How much is this doing? 31,000 damage, right? So under all the conditions, Trap, Ghost Zone, very good damage, 31,000 on-type damage, very, very strong. For sure. We go ahead and go for Irida's Sync move here. I did want to finish with the Mystifying Bitter Malice, but I queued the Shadow Force, so oops. It's fine though, doesn't really matter. What's the Sync move do here without having a status condition? 18,000 damage, it's pretty good. They do have a healthy advantage 4, but that's still pretty good damage to make use of for sure, so not too shabby, not too shabby. And no Trap here to deal with, but that's fine, because Renegade Cynthia just takes him out. So, yeah. On type, you're not going to be struggling, especially if you want to use a setup of Renegade Cynthia, who is rerunning later in the month. You're not going to be struggling too much with using her and Irida together on type stages, because, yeah, Ghost Zone with Irida plus the Master passive boost from Cynthia is very, very strong. It makes Irida look pretty insane. And of course, if you do give Renegade Cynthia the EX roll, you can use her Sync move instead of Irida's and focus on full DPS with Irida, which is also equally as viable, right? Only issue that I have with Renegade Cynthia is her physical Sync move. There's a few other things, but really the physical Sync move is probably the biggest hindrance. Either way, this isn't about Renegade Cynthia, this is about Irida. Irida's great. Speaking of Renegade Cynthia, though, she could afford to have a better Ghost Zone setter. Despite Renegade Cynthia being Sinnoh, still, again, not really all too fantastic. If we get a future Ghost Zone / Ghost rebuff support other than Fall Alistair, we're probably going to be cooking quite a bit with Irida here, because I can expect some special defense debuffs, some special moves next, something like a circle maybe, something that really makes Irida look a little bit stronger, because you're now relegating the role of setting Zone from your damage dealer, nuke, or whatever to a supporting character, so now you can open up that other slot to have a lot better damage. Even if you still just opt to use Renegade Cynthia, now you don't have to set the Zone with Renegade Cynthia, so better damage nonetheless, and more special defense debuffs for Irida's damage. But yeah, Irida's damage is crazy. Those Mystifying Bitter Malices hit like a fucking truck. You gotta have that trap on the enemy to get them to hit like a truck, but even without that, you saw with the Kalem video, right, or the Kalem bit of the segment where we got +3 special moves next on Irida, that her Mystifying Bitter Malice can still hit for good damage without having the trap up, which still, you do want the trap up, but if you find yourself in a pickle where you don't have it up, then you can still make use of Mystifying Bitter Malice, not only to do good damage, right, even without the trap, but you also flinch the enemy, which is also another massive use there, which again, in that same video, you saw the flinch with Irida's Mystifying Bitter Malice into the buddy move with Irida and Glaceon to KO the side, get turn denial, yada yada yada, which was extremely helpful there, so that helps out a lot. Either way, that's a showcase for Special Costume Irida at 1 out of 5 6-star EX. I'll be doing the 3 out of 5 showcase sometime later today. I don't know when. Oh boy, I gotta get some ideas in my head, because this one took a few ideas and a few ideas by itself, but either way, I should probably plan these a little bit better. Either way, yeah, that's a Special Costume Irida 1 out of 5 showcase. Let me know what you think about her down in the comments below. I think she's pretty good. Yeah, and I'll see you all in the 3 out of 5 showcase.